On the afternoon of March 27, 1977, two of the largest passenger planes in the world sat on a small island in the Atlantic Ocean, waiting. One was a KLM Boeing 747, full of Dutch tourists eager to begin their vacation. The other was a Pan Am 747, carrying mostly American passengers who had already been flying for hours. Neither of them was supposed to be here. Earlier that day, a bomb had exploded at the airport in Las Palmas. Both flights were diverted to a much smaller airport on the nearby island of Tenerife, an airport with only one runway and limited space. As the afternoon went on, thick fog began to roll in. Visibility dropped so low that pilots could barely see the lights on the runway. The KLM plane, commanded by one of the airline's most senior and respected captains, Jacob Veldesen van Zanten, was ready to leave. He was eager to take off. His crew had already been on duty for a long time, and Dutch regulations meant that if they delayed any longer, they might not be allowed to fly at all. The Pan Am plane was still on the runway, taxiing slowly through the fog, trying to find the exit so the KLM jet could take off. In the dense fog, neither crew could see the other plane. What happened next was a chain of small misunderstandings that would become the deadliest accident in aviation history. The KLM captain believed he had been cleared for takeoff. In reality, the controller had only given him the route clearance, not permission to take off. On the radio, the KLM first officer said the words, "We are now at takeoff." The controller replied, "Okay. Stand by for takeoff. I will call you." But part of that message was blocked by another radio transmission. The KLM captain only heard the word "okay." He released the brakes. The massive 747 began accelerating down the runway, straight toward the Pan Am jet that was still on it. By the time the Pan Am crew saw the lights of the approaching KLM plane through the fog, it was already too late. The KLM pilot tried to lift the nose early. The Pan Am pilot tried to turn off the runway. They almost made it. The KLM's landing gear and lower fuselage slammed into the upper deck of the Pan Am 747. A massive explosion followed. Both aircraft were engulfed in flames. All 248 people on the KLM flight died instantly. On the Pan Am plane, 335 people were killed. Only 61 survived, most of them by climbing out through a hole in the fuselage and running through the fire and smoke. In total, 583 lives were lost on a foggy afternoon, on a runway that should have been empty. The investigation that followed changed aviation forever. It revealed how hierarchy in the cockpit, assumptions, and unclear radio communication could combine into catastrophe. New rules about crew resource management, clearer phraseology, and runway procedures were introduced because of this single disaster. Sometimes the most dangerous moments in aviation aren't caused by mechanical failure, but by a few seconds of misunderstanding in the fog.